Lincoln Memorial looks for the sweep after a walk-off 2-1 win in Game 1 over number 19 Carson-Newman. They'll turn the ball over to Ashlyn Lupton for game number 2. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network and on the Lincoln Memorial Sports Network. Delighted you could join me as Malia Smith leads off for Carson-Newman. And we're about set to get underway here in game number 2 of the afternoon from the Dorothy Neely Softball Complex. Lupton, the right-hander, gets set, comes home, and here's the first pitch to Smith. Then it misses outside with the first pitch coming at 3:28 local time. Between these two teams, 66 degrees and sunny on this Saturday afternoon. Wind blowing in from center field. The 1-0 to Smith misses outside. 2 balls in, no strikes against the shortstop. Looking at the Carson-Newman lineup, it is relatively unchanged for head coach Michael Graves. All the same players, just in some slightly different spots, but the top 5 hitters unchanged for Carson-Newman. Here comes the 2-0. Misses high and goes to the backstop. It's 3-0. So Malia Smith leads off playing at shortstop. Then it's the center fielder Abby Martin, and Macaulay Bailey, the first baseman, bats third. Those are the 3 that at the very least will come up in this first inning. Then the cleanup hitters, the third baseman Grace Gregory, followed by the catcher Anne-Marie Richards in the 5 spot. Right-hander Lupton comes home on the 3-0. It misses high and outside. There's a 4-pitch leadoff walk for Malia Smith in the top of the first inning. Then the last 4 hitters is where things change. Sarah Walker bumps up from the 8 spot to the 6 spot in the lineup as the designated player. Katie Mathena stays put over in the 7 spot playing in right field. Addie Saunders drops to 8 in the lineup playing in left field. First pitch to Abby Martin misses low, and it's 1-0, and Lupton has missed on her first 5 pitches. And so Jordan Reagan, the catcher, will go out and chat with the pitcher in Lupton. And then the 9-hitter is Reese Winchester, the second base. Pitching for Carson-Newman in game 2 is Lacey Keck. Lupton, a junior out of Hope Mills, North Carolina. Making her second start of the year. Started her first game last week started the second game against Emory and Henry during the midweek. Lupton comes in with a 2.96 ERA and 0-2 record on the season. And Lupton comes home on the 1-0 to Martin. That bounces in, and it's 2-0. Smith, a little advantageous off the first base bag, retreats as the throw from Reagan bounces in on one hop to Alyssa Maples, who is a change defensively for Richie Richardson for Lincoln Memorial. Here comes the 2-0 to Martin, and that misses inside. It was 6 consecutive balls, and now it is 7 from Lupton, as explained by the Carson-Newman dugout down the first base side. Here comes the 3-0 from Lupton. And it's a called strike on the inner half. Martin thought it was 8 straight balls, but Lupton delivers her first strike, and the count gets to 3-1. Here comes the 3-1. And it's a called strike at the top of the zone. Lupton working backwards against Martin. And the count runs full. LMU picking up a 2-1 walk-off win in game 1. Here comes payoff pitch. Martin jammed inside, pops one up, shallow center field. The shortstop, Gracie Palmer, ranges back and makes the play for out number 1. So Lupton, after a 4-pitch leadoff walk and missing on her first 7 pitches, works backwards and retires Martin for out number 1. Looking at LMU defensively from left to right in the outfield, it's Kristen Griffin, Nicole Covertier, and Cassidy Hack. The outfield unchanged from game 1. 3 of the 4 spots on the infield, also no changes made. As the first pitch to Macaulay Bailey comes home, a hard hit to third. Catch is made by McMean. She goes back to first as Smith was caught in hot water, and the inning is over. So we'll meet the rest of this LMU defense when we come back in the top of the second inning. For now, it's back to the offensive side of the ball for LMU. An unconventional 1-2-3 inning for Ashlyn Lupton, and sends it over to her bats where they'll face Lacey Keck in the bottom of the first inning when we come back on the LMU Sports Network and the Eagle Sports Network.
Dímelo, mi gente, it's Friday night y estamos activos. Head out early. Drinks flowing till 11 p.m. It's gonna be lit.
No sé qué pasó. I didn't even drink that much.
Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving.
A 1-2-3 unconventional inning for Ashlyn Lupton, in the top of the first inning for LMU. She hands it over to Lacey Keck for Carson-Newman, and here is the lineup for LMU that she will be facing. Reese Vivrette leads off, playing at second base. That's Kristen Griffin, the left fielder, and it is Hannah McMean, the third baseman, followed by the cleanup hitter Jordan Reagan playing catcher. Hannah Bogoski is the designated player batting fifth. The right fielder Cassidy Hack bats sixth. Center fielder Nicole Covertier, I combined two names in one there. My apologies. As the first pitch from Lacey Keck misses high and outside to Vivrette, and it is 1-0. Nicole Covertier is the center fielder batting seventh. Batting eighth is the first baseman in Alyssa Maples, and then it's the shortstop Gracie Palmer in the 9 spot. Here against Lacey Keck in game 2, the 1-0 from the left-hander. Catches the outer half, and it's 1-1. Lefty on lefty matchup with Vivrette to get things going for Lacey Keck, the freshman out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Has become a starter as of late for head coach Michael Graves. 1-0, hit on the ground foul. And the count goes to 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 from Keck, and it misses upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vivrette was 0 for 3 in game 1, fouls the 2-2 back, and the count stays where it is. Had a line out, sack bunt, ground out, and a strikeout for her 4 times at the plate. Here comes the 2-2. Vivrette tries to guide it down the third base side, but it splinters foul. And the count stays where it is. A long first at-bat between Keck and Vivrette. Here comes the 2-2 from Keck. High and outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Keck appeared in relief against UVA Wise on Tuesday. Surrendered 3 runs, all of them earned on 6 hits across 3 2/3 innings of work. No strikeouts and no walks allowed. This is her 3rd start of the season, the 3-2. Swatting it down the left field line is Vivrette, and it slices out of reach for Addie Saunders in left field in foul ground. So we'll do it all over again on another full count. Last start for Keck came on March 4th. That was at Lee. The second game of that doubleheader went 2 1/3 innings. Gave up 3 runs, all of them earned on 3 hits with 4 Ks, a season high, and 3 walks. She holds a 4.53 ERA through her first 7 appearances in her freshman season. A 3-2 goes upstairs, and clipping it foul is Vivrette to continue this marathon-long at-bat to get things going. Keck played her high school softball at Gibbs along with Malia Smith. 3-2 hit on the ground, straight to Malia Smith at short. She'll go to first, and there is out number 1 for Lacey Keck. To retire Reese Vivrette and brings up Kristen Griffin, the left fielder. Now we'll take a look at Carson-Newman defensively. No changes there. Abby Martin is in center. Addie Saunders flanks her in left, and right is Katie Mathena. As Kristen Griffin climbs into the righty's batter's box, and the first pitch she sees from Keck moves inside against her. She was showing bunt pulled back, and somehow miraculously the ball did not hit her. And the count's at 1-0. 2 seniors on the corners for Carson-Newman, Macaulay Bailey at first and Grace Gregory at third, with the freshman duo up the middle. The 1-0 from Keck finds the outside corner. Reese Winchester at second and Malia Smith at short, with Anne-Marie Richards behind the dish for the 2nd consecutive game today. And she's been the everyday catcher for head coach Michael Graves. The 1-1 from Keck. Griston, slow roller on the ground, fielded by Gregory at third, zings it across to first, and there's 2 gone in the bottom half of the first inning. Brings up Hannah McMean, the third baseman. And Richards, a point of controversy at the end of game 1, thought she had applied the tag on Cassidy Hack to get a crucial second out, or what would have been a third out. As first pitch to McMean finds the outer half from Keck, and it's 0-1. On a sac fly from Gracie Palmer that scored the winning run, Hack was what seemed dead to rights, but obstruction was called against Richards, and the game ended on that. 0-1, McMean chops it off of home plate foul. Down the first base side, it's 0-2. And so Carson-Newman trying to respond here in game 2. Head coach Michael Graves doesn't love splits, but he needs it here. The 0-2, a wave and a miss from McMean as Keck puts her down by way of the K. And it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the first inning for Lacey Keck, bookended with her first strikeout of the day. Sends us into the second, knotted up at 0 between number 19 Carson-Newman and LMU on the LMU Sports Network and Eagle Sports Network.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
Four, 5, and 6 for Carson-Newman in the top half of the second inning. A scoreless first frame from Ashlyn Lupton and Lacey Keck in second pitching matchup today. Lincoln Memorial, a 2-1 walk-off win in Game 1, decided in extra innings, final in 9. And look for the sweep here against the 19th-ranked Eagles. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network and Lincoln Memorial Sports Network. First pitch to Gregory from Lupton moves inside, and it's 1-0. double duties today on both the Eagle Sports Network and Lincoln Memorial Sports Network. Here comes the 1-0 from Lupton. Gregory turns, hammers it down the left field line, and it is foul. Just by a couple of feet into the left field corner. And the count goes to 1-1. And what is an exciting day in Harrogate, hence why I'm on double duties today. One. Gregory straightens this one out with a deep drive to left, and it is gone. Grace Gregory leaves the yard for her third home run of the season, and Carson-Newman jumps in front 1-0 in the top half of the second inning. A leadoff home run in the top of the second inning for Carson-Newman off the bat of Grace Gregory, who just missed on the first pitch with a foul ball, and this time she got the pitch she wanted, straightened it out a bit more, and hammered it over the left field wall. As Carson-Newman strikes first once again. They struck first in the top of the first inning in Game 1, but were held scoreless across the last 8 innings from this LMU pitching staff as Anne-Marie Richards waves through the first pitch off speed from Lupton, and it's 0-1. Richards, a freshman out of Spring Hill, Tennessee, was 2 for 4 in Game 1. 0-1 misses outside. Count goes to 1-1. As I was saying, exciting days around Harrogate today. They're the 1 seed and host of the regional tournament for women's basketball, but LMU men's team currently in action as the 1-1 catches the outer half against Richards, and it's 1-2. They have the 7 seed in the men's tournament taking on the 2 seed and Peach Belt champions Lander. Rail Splitters are up 57-49 with just under 12 minutes to go as they've hit the under 12 media timeout. As the 1-2 from Richards is hit in the left center field gap, and it 2 hops into the wall. Richards motors around first and is into second with a double. Follows suit from Gregory's home run, back-to-back extra base hits for the Eagles. Puts another in scoring position. Here comes Sarah Walker. So Richards now 3 for 5 on the day overall. First pitch to the righty, Walker. This is upstairs. And the count goes to 1-0. Just down the road with baseball, Lincoln Memorial tied at 5 in extra innings against Coker. 1-0. Misses upstairs to Walker, 2 balls and no strikes. Lupton gets her sign and rocks home the 2-0. Walker hammers it into left field. Down the left field line. Richards will stop at third as the throw comes in from Griffin. And Sarah Walker continues this hitting train. The first 3 have reached for Carson-Newman. The runners are on the corners with nobody out. In the top of the second inning, brings up Katie Mathena. So Walker gets another base hit. Had one in Game 1 as well. Extends her hitting streak to now 6 consecutive games as Mathena takes the first pitch strike on the outer half. Mathena was 1 for 4 in Game 1. Here's the 0-1. And it's a called strike just on the outer part of the zone. Count goes to 1-1. And then the nightcap in Harrogate tonight is a regional semifinals for women's basketball. Here comes the 0-2 to Mathena. Gets underneath it as she hoists it in the air into shallow left field. In foul ground, it's the shortstop Palmer that makes the play for the first out here in the top of the second inning. And there's still 2 on with 1 away as here comes the 8-hitter and left fielder Addie Saunders. But as I said, the nightcap top seed in the Southeast region for women's basketball, Lincoln Memorial, takes on the 5 seed Carson-Newman. So not only meeting on the diamond, but also on the hardwood are 2 of the premier women's programs for both schools, as the first offering from Lupton misses upstairs to Saunders, and it's 1-0. To Saunders. Shoots it the other way into left field for a base hit. Richards will come in to score. It's an RBI single for Addie Saunders, and it's 2-0 Eagles in the top of the second inning. As Walker advances up to second, RBI number 14 on the season for Addie Saunders makes it 2-0 Carson-Newman here in the second inning. And that will be the day for Ashlyn Lupton, as here comes Katie Fultz, who
14 for 20.
Who closed out game 1 and got the win for Lincoln Memorial. Now we'll try to buckle down here in game 2 as the Eagles are threatening for more. Already got 2 runs here in the second. We'll have more from Lincoln Memorial when we come back on the other side of this break.
Welcome back to Papa John's. I'm hand stuffing this mozzarella to make our epic stuffed crust pizza.
Epic.
Epic. Hey, we're making you an epic stuffed crust pizza for $13.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Papa John's went all in creating a new Papa Dipper. Our first pizza designed for dipping. It comes with the garlic sauce flight, 3 new flavors plus the original. This is dipping done better. The new Papa Dipper. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
So Katie Fultz returns to the circle for Lincoln Memorial, taking on Carson-Newman. It is a 2-0 Eagles lead as Reese Winchester takes the first pitch strike on the outer half from Fultz. The 0-1, a check swing from Winchester, and she won around. Count goes to 0-2. 2 on with 1 away for Carson-Newman here against the 9-hitter in Reese Winchester. Addie Saunders at first, Sarah Walker at second, a 2-0 Carson-Newman lead. The 0-2 from Fultz misses high and outside to Winchester. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Winchester had a ground out, a fly out, and a fielder's choice in game 1. 1-2, misses upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2. Winchester pops it up, and it drifts out of play down the first base side. Hitting off the bottom part of the walkway. Carson-Newman trying to get the split here in game 2. They've dropped 4 of their last 5. 2-2. Winchester pokes another foul ball down the right field line, and it goes out of play. Got swept on the road at Lee on March 4th. A pair of walk-off wins for the Flames, then split the sack opener against UVA Wise on Tuesday, dropping game 1 7-4, and then third walk-off in 10 days against the Eagles as the 2-2 misses outside from Fultz, and the count runs full against Winchester. Rail Splitters taking game 1 2-1. 3-2, Winchester pops it up. It goes straight back and gets over top the netting and lands in the gallery in front of the press box. Fultz in game 1 went 3 innings, allowing just 1 hit, no runs allowed with a strikeout. Picked up the win and improved to 4-4 on the season. Was efficient as well, tossing just 23 pitches, facing 10 batters across her 3 innings of work. Winchester making her work here. 3-2, Winchester, line drive back up the middle and into center field. Walker gets the green light around third. The throw to the plate is not in time. An RBI single for Reese Winchester, her 11th of the season. And this big second inning continues for Carson-Newman. It is now 3-0 Eagles. Back-to-back RBI base hits for Carson-Newman as Saunders advances up to second, and it turns back over to the top of the Carson-Newman order with Malia Smith. First offering to Smith, shows bunt, pulls back, get it, misses low. 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes the 1-0. And misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. A lefty on lefty matchup between Smith and Fultz. Smith worked a walk and then was caught out on a double play to end the inning in the first. The 2-0 was Smith offering it a bunt, missed it. It popped out of the glove of the catcher Reagan. And then advancing to third goes Saunders, and up to second goes Winchester. Richie Richardson out of the third base dugout, asking for the umpires to come together, and this crew will talk things over once more. See if there was a foul ball. If there was not, and they rule there was no foul ball. So those to advance on the passed ball. Smith puts a bunt down towards the catcher in Fultz. She looks back. Saunders over at third, but by the time she turned around to first, Smith was already aboard. So the bases are now loaded with 1 away for Abby Martin. First offering to Martin, scorching ground ball up the middle and into center field. Saunders scores. Here's come Winchester on her heels. She's in safely. A 2-run single from Abby Martin, and it is 5-0 Carson-Newman. Four straight base hits for the Eagles. And Abby Martin now matches her career best in a season, up to 24 RBIs. As Macaulay Bailey takes the first pitch down and away from Fultz, and it's 1-0. This Carson-Newman offense was held in check by the LMU pitching staff throughout most of game 1, despite the lone tally in the first inning. Was held scoreless the next 8. Extended it to 9 with a scoreless first here in game 2, but they've erupted here in the second, and the first 2 have missed to Bailey, and it's 2-0. Lefty and ready matchup. 2-0 inside. 3 balls and no strikes to Macaulay Bailey, who is the active leader in career RBIs at the Division II level, tied for 23rd all-time with 229 in her career, and is 3rd in sack history. Here comes the 3-0. Right down the chute from Fultz as Bailey was taken all the way, and it's 3-1. Senior out of Cross Plains, Tennessee, is on the hunt for the top spot in sack history. Currently occupied as 3-1, misses outside. And Bailey works a one-out walk to load the bases. And Eagles have batted around as it turns over to Grace Gregory, who led off this inning with a solo home run. Now she comes up with the bases loaded. And as I was saying, Macaulay Bailey closing in on all-time RBI record in South Atlantic Conference history. Currently third all-time with 229, and most recently passed Kyla Niles from Anderson. Kyla Niles, from Anderson, 226 with some RBIs against UVA Wise. And now she only trails Haley Simmons from Newberry as first offering to Gregory. Is off the mark, 1-0 inside. Simmons with 233, and then Kashawn Boatner from Anderson currently holds the record with 239. 1-0, Gregory on the ground, foul. Bounces it in front of home plate and then skitters it down the third base line. Count evens up at 1-1. Smith at third, Martin at second. They got tremendous speed. A ball to the outfield should score them. Macaulay Bailey over at first. The 1-1. Off speed to Gregory, misses low. 2 balls and a strike. Just one out, in this second frame for LMU. The 2-0 or the 2-1 misses outside, and it's 3-1 now to Gregory. 7 hits for Carson-Newman in this inning. The walk from Bailey was just the first, and then a pop out from Athena. The 9 that have come to the plate. 3-1 to Gregory. Misses low. That's back-to-back walks, and Gregory picks up her second RBI of the inning. Makes it 6-0. Carson-Newman as Smith comes in to score. And the wheels on the bus continue to go around for Carson-Newman, and LMU's going to go back to the bullpen. Fultz doesn't get an out here in her second outing. After 3 scoreless, she can't get out of the second, and in comes Brooke Strickland for LMU. While she gets warmed up, we'll take a break here on Lincoln Memorial Sports Network and Eagle Sports Network.
We are taught you don't talk about your problems with nobody because you could get in trouble. And I've been through a lot. Anxiety, depression, sexual assault. When I decided to get help, my life changed. And the mental health box, that was one of the big tools. Accepting help means that we are allowing somebody to bless our life. It's freeing. We got stronger together. Love your mind.
Brooke Strickland will make her 10th appearance, second in relief. Comes in with a 4.86 ERA through 36 innings. Has 29 strikeouts to lead the way for the Rail Splitters, but also has 23 walks. Opponents are batting .297 against her, and she faces Anne-Marie Richards to get things going in a righty-on-righty matchup. And the first offering from Strickland misses down and in against Richards, who doubled as the second batter in this inning. And now she comes up with the bases loaded and 1 gone. 1-0. Richards pops it up out of play down the first base side, and it's 1-1. 6 runs, 7 hits in this inning for Carson-Newman. It's Gregory at first, Bailey at second, Martin at third. As the 1-1 comes in from Strickland, Richards pops it up, and it'll stay on the infield. And the catch is made by Palmer for out number 2. Brings up Sarah Walker, singled and scored in this inning. It was a part of 3 consecutive hits, I should say, for Carson-Newman to kickstart this second inning. Solo home run from Grace Gregory started this inning, then a double from Richards and the single from Walker. First pitch to Walker. Misses low from Strickland. 1 ball, no strikes. Carson-Newman broke things open with 3 RBI base hits in 4 batters. RBI singles from Saunders, Winchester, and Martin. Martin drove in a pair as the 1-0 is fouled straight back and hits part of the crowd, Mike. The Count goes to 1-1 against Walker. And then a walk from Macaulay Bailey and a bases loaded walk from Grace Gregory. Extended the lead. It's 6-0 Carson-Newman. 1-1 to Walker. Turns on it, drives it. Sinking line drive into left field. Griffin dives, can't make the play. Martin scores. Here comes Macaulay Bailey around third, and she's in to score. 2 more for Carson-Newman here in the top of the second inning. It is 8-0 Eagles. As Walker adds on to the lead with a pair of RBIs. And her second base hit brings up Katie Mathena. First offering from Strickland to Mathena. Burns the outside edge, and it's 0-1. Runners on the corners with 2 away for Mathena. She popped out to the shortstop Palmer her first time up. It's Walker at first, Gregory at third, the 0-1. Mathena hoisted out of play down the first base side, and it's 0-2 quickly. Well, this is a stark change offensively for Carson-Newman. They were sputtering in game 1, couldn't take advantage of opportunities. Well, they've broken things open here in the second. The 0-2, Mathena, towering pop-up that will stay on the left side of the infield. Palmer moves over and makes the play, but the damage is done for Carson-Newman. They score 8 runs on 8 hits, leave 2 runners left on as we head to the bottom of the second here on the Eagle Sports Network and Lincoln Memorial Sports Network.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
An 8-0 Carson-Newman lead after an 8-hit, 8-run top of the second. Gives Lacey Keck a large cushion to get things going in the bottom of the second. She'll face 4, 5, and 6 in the LMU order. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network and Lincoln Memorial Sports Network. Eagles coming out with a vengeance here in game number 2. Dropped in extra innings in game 1, 2-1. First pitch from Keck to Jordan Reagan, the catcher, misses outside, and it's 1-0. That was a game for Carson-Newman that they felt slipped through their grasps. Some late heroics from LMU. 1-0 is high and outside, 2-0. Carson-Newman had LMU down to its last out, down to its last strike before Hannah McMean delivered a RBI double in the bottom of the 7th. Tied it up at 1, and then the walk-off obstruction call in the bottom of the 9th gave the win for the Rail Splitters. The 2-0 from Keck burns the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Reagan, Bogowski, and Hack for LMU in this second frame, the 2-1. Reagan pops it up, foul ground, third base side. Gregory ranges over, the basket catch, and she's unable to hold on as she crashes into the padding just in front of the LMU dugout on third base side. And the count goes to 2-2. Here comes the 2-2. This is outside to Reagan. 3 balls and 2 strikes against the catcher. Reagan was 0 for 2 with a pair of walks in game 1. Payoff pitch from Keck. Reagan line drive, back up the middle and into center field for a leadoff base hit. Brings up Hannah Bogowski, the catcher, or the designated player, excuse me. Had a productive game one, 1 for 2, a couple of walks on her afternoon as well. First offering to her finds the inner half from Keck, and it's 0-1. Lefty on righty matchup as Bogowski digs back into the righty's batter's box. Working against the southpaw Keck. There comes the 0-1. Clipped straight back off the end of the bat by Bogowski, and it's 0-2. Reagan over at first after the leadoff single. The 0-2, Bogowski, high fly ball into right center field. Mathena, right fielder, moves into the gap and makes the play for out number 1. Brings up Cassidy Hack, who scored the winning run for LMU. First pitch to her. This is high and inside, 1-0. Hack was 0 for 3 on the day, had a walk and a strikeout, and of course scored by way of the obstruction called against Anne-Marie Richards to give LMU the 2-1 win in extra innings in game 1. Here's the 1-0 from Keck. It's down the chute, and it's 1-1. There comes the 1-1 from Keck. It is high and outside. It's 2-1 against Cassidy Hack. Has Reagan over at first base after the leadoff single, the 2-1. Hack hoisted in the air, shallow center. Martin charges in, and she is there to make the play. 2 gone in the second. Brings up Nicole Covertier, the center fielder. Covertier in game 1 was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. She left 6 runners on base. And she takes the first pitch strike from Lacey Keck that stamps on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Came up in a pair of situations with the bases loaded and was unable to convert on those opportunities. Here's the 0-1. Covertier line drive to the right side of the infield, and it's straight to the second baseman in Winchester. And that bookends the bottom of the second. A shutdown frame from Lacey Keck concludes a dominant second inning from Carson-Newman. They take an 8-0 lead into the third. Brooke Strickland will look to shut things down when we come back on the other side of this break on the Lincoln Memorial Sports Network and the Eagle Sports Network.
Dímelo, mi gente, it's Friday night y estamos activos. Head out early. Drinks flowing till 11 p.m. It's gotta be lit.
No sé qué pasó. I didn't even drink that much.
Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving?
8-9-1 for Carson-Newman here in the third inning. Addie Saunders, Reese Winchester. And then back to the top of the order with Malia Smith here against Brooke Strickland in the third frame. An 8-0 lead for number 19 Carson-Newman over Lincoln Memorial. Here in Game 2, Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network and LMU Sports Network. Strickland comes home on the first pitch offering that catches the outside corner to Addie Saunders. She is 1 for 1 with an RBI single, part of that 8-run second inning. Also scored in that frame as well. The 0-1. Saunders nubs it straight back, and it's 0-2. Winchester, who's on deck, continued that streak of back-to-back RBI base hits in that second frame. And then it's Malia Smith up after that. The 0-2 misses high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 misses down away, and count squares up, 2 balls and 2 strikes against the sophomore out of Radford, Virginia. Carson-Newman in its all-orange creamsicle look. 2-2. Saunders pokes it off the foul pole down the third base side. Orange jersey and pants with white socks with 2 orange stripes on the mid-calf. White pinstripes on the jerseys and pants. Eagles written in cursive across the chest with white numbers on the front and the back. 2-2. Saunders, ground ball back up the middle, sneaks under the glove of Strickland and rolls into center field. Saunders is 2 for 2. And she has a leadoff base hit to get things started in the top half of the third inning. Carson-Newman, prior to the Game 1 loss, was a perfect 9-0 when wearing this look this season. LMU rocking pinstripe look as well as Winchester gets underneath the first pitch. It's a towering pop-up into left center field. Center fielder Covertier calls off the shortstop Palmer and secures it for out number 1. Brings up Malia Smith, the shortstop, and the top half of this Carson-Newman order. She has reached on a walk and then singled back in the second. Standing in the lefty's batter's box, the righty Strickland comes home, and the first pitch misses low. Lincoln Memorial, white jersey, white pants with navy blue socks and navy blue pinstripes on the jerseys and pants. The 1-0 catches the inner half against Smith, 1 ball and 1 strike. Navy blue LMU written across the chest in block lettering, outlined in light blue. Numbers to mirror on the back. Pitch outside as Reagan pops up and wanted to see how Saunders reacted. As the count moves to 2-1. Saunders conservative lead over at first base. Here comes the 2-1 from Strickland. Misses outside to Smith, and it's 3-1. From Strickland. Catches the outside corner against Malia Smith. And the count runs full with 1 gone. And the top half of the third inning, an 8-0 Carson-Newman lead. 8 runs in the second. 3-2, wave and a miss from Smith. She's down by way of the K. It's the first strikeout for Lincoln Memorial in Game 2, second on the afternoon overall. First pitch to Abby Martin, catches the outer half from Strickland, and it's 0-1. This LMU staff coming into today, and just recorded 77 strikeouts as a whole. The 0-1 hits off the hand of Martin, or they'll say off the bat as well. And so the count goes to 0-2. So Martin digs back into the righty's batter's box with a slightly open stance. An 0-2 count against the righty Strickland. She comes home. Misses high and outside. It's 1-2. Wind is blowing in from center field. And it is gusting. The 1-2. Martin clips it straight back, and the count stays where it is. Here comes the 1-2. This is inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 away. Saunders still over at first. The break even. Martin fights it off with a foul ball down the first base side. Martin battling well here. Another break even from Strickland. And a strike 3 called at the top of the zone. Martin disagrees with the call. Gives a long look to the home plate umpire. And head coach Michael Graves shakes his head, exchanges a few words, and heads back to the first base dugout as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 8-0 Carson-Newman in front over Lincoln Memorial here in Game 2 of this Saturday doubleheader on the Eagle Sports Network and Lincoln Memorial Sports Network.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
A defensive change for Carson-Newman here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Shelby Armstrong takes the place of Reese Winchester and slots in at second base. Armstrong, a junior and a transfer out of Roane State Community College, has that versatility, has appeared in the outfield, and now slots in at second base, as it'll be 8-9-1 for Lincoln Memorial here in the bottom of the 3rd inning against Lacey Keck. First offering from Keck is off the mark, and it's 1-0. The 1-0. Keck is off the mark, and it's 2-0. It's Alyssa Maples leading things off for LMU. Coming in at first base for this second contest, the 2-0. Keck finds the outer half, and it's 2-1. There's Ryan Williams that got the start in Game 1. She went 0 for 4, and so Richie Richardson offs to go to Maples here in Game 2, the 2-1. And Maples slaps it foul down the first base side. Count levels up at 2-2. This season for Maples, this is her 16th appearance, 13th start. Comes in batting .258 on the year. Stands tall in the righty's batter's box, the 2-2. Chops at it, and it goes foul. Hitting on top of the press box. So the count stays where it is at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, called strike 3 on the outside corner. Keck with her second strikeout. First backwards K. Puts 1 gone in the bottom of the 8th inning and brings up the 9-hitter in Gracie Palmer. First pitch to Palmer is a breaking ball that cements itself on the outer half from Keck, and it's 0-1. Palmer was the hero in game 1, delivered the sac fly that brought Cassidy Keck into a collision with Anne-Marie Richards where obstruction was called. The 0-1, Palmer shoots it the other way, out of reach for the outstretched arm of Shelby Armstrong. That's a 1-out base hit for the 9-hitter in Palmer. And it brings up the second baseman in the top half of this Lincoln Memorial order with Reese Vivrette. First pitch to Vivrette misses high and outside, 1-0. Off the mark from Keck. 2 balls, no strikes. Clips the lead right elbow of Vivrette. She'll head on down to first on a hit by pitch, and back-to-back batters have reached for LMU here in the third. As it comes to Kristen Griffin, the left fielder. Some other things going on around the country. So, man, sometimes words are hard. But Kristen Griffin comes up, stands in the righty's batter's box, and takes the first pitch strike. We'll start this over again. Some other things going on around the country. There's track national championships, and congratulations are in order for Rylan Jordan from Carson-Newman. Finishes third in the 60-meter finals with a time of 6.66 seconds. The 0-1, wave and a miss from Griffin, chases upstairs on the pitch from Keck, and it's 0-2. So Jordan, an All-American and a bronze medalist at the national championships here in 2026 for head coach Kieran Schaller-Davis. Here comes the 0-2 from Keck, and Griffin fouls it away down the first base side. It is Vivrette at first, and at second is Palmer. Also later this evening at 5:45, it is the men's 200-meter finals, where Mine Kazmi finished second in the prelims. Looks to go for gold for Carson-Newman. The 0-2, Griffin hammers it down the left field line, and it rolls all the way into the corner. Palmer scores. Getting the stop sign at third is Vivrette. An RBI double for Kristen Griffin, and LMU is on the board in the bottom of the third inning. 13th RBI of the season for Griffin. Brings up Hannah McMean. The third baseman is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. As Lacey Keck tries to get out of this inning. First pitch to McMean is hit on the ground, and it skitters foul the third base bag. The 0-1. Keck finds the zone again against McMean, moving inside against the right-handed hitting third baseman. Righty on righty matchup as righty on lefty matchup as Keck misses outside. It goes to the backstop, but Richards with a good job covering, ranging to her right. Holds Vivrette over at third. Also in men's basketball, all those Rail Splitter fans, unfortunately their season has come to a close. They fall to the 2-seed and Peach Belt champions Lander 76-71 in the first round. Here's the 0-2 from Keck. McMean goes the other way to second. Armstrong will go to first for one and looks back the runner in Vivrette at third. Strong play from Shelby Armstrong at second. As she's able to hold the other two in scoring position and keep it an 8-1 game. Brings up Jordan Reagan, who led off the second with a base hit. Faces Keck for the second time. First offering to Reagan, misses outside, and it's 1-0. Pair of Peach Belt teams moved on to the second round in the Southeast region for men's basketball. Catawba, SAC runner-up and 3-seed, taken down by the 6-seed Columbus State, 78-75. 1-0. Misses low from Keck, 2 balls and no strikes. So Peach Belt guaranteed a spot in the Sweet 16 with that second round matchup of Lander and Columbus State on tap. For tomorrow. 2-0. Keck misses low, and now it's 3-0 against Reagan. The host of the Southeast region, Anderson, takes on Young Harris. That's set for a 5 p.m. tip, and then nightcap on the men's side at 7:30. 4-seed LR takes on 5th-seed North Georgia out of the Peach Belt. Young Harris got in as the 8-seed champions of the Conference Carolinas, led by Carl Cleveland. On the women's side, LMU women's basketball, top seed of the Southeast region. They have the nightcap today in the regional semifinals in the round of 32, taking on 5-seed Carson-Newman. As Keck climbs back in after a brief visit from Richards in the circle, the 3-0 home. Misses outside. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Jordan Reagan. She reaches for the second time today, and it loads the bases with 2 away. And pitching change for head coach Michael Graves. It's going to be Lorelei Spradlin coming in relief for Carson-Newman, the sophomore out of Blacksburg, Virginia. Got the start against UVA-Y. She now comes in relief here in game number 2 against LMU. As
3 for 27.
As Keck departs after 2 2/3. She is responsible for all 3 base runners currently. And so as Spradlin gets warmed up, we'll take a quick break on the Eagle Sports Network and LMU Sports Network.
We are taught you don't talk about your problems with nobody because you could get in trouble. And I've been through a lot. Anxiety, depression, sexual assault. When I decided to get help, my life changed. And the mental health box, that was one of the big tools. Accepting help means that we are allowing somebody to bless our life. It's freeing. We got stronger together. Love.
So here comes Lorelei Spradlin. Picked up the win, her 3rd of the season against UVA-Y's on Tuesday. Went 5 2/3, giving up 2 runs, all of them earned on 5 hits through 5 2/3 innings. Struck out 1, walked 3. Sophomore with a 2.77 ERA on the season. First offering misses high to Hannah Bogowski, excuse me. 1-0 finds the outer half from Spradlin. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2.77 ERA through 10 appearances and 8 starts. This is her 11th appearance on the season. 1-1 misses just outside from Spradlin. 2 balls and a strike. Two one, fouled away down the first base side by Brzegowski. Caught up with Spradlin after the win against UVA Wise. Felt she didn't even pitch to her fullest potential. Trying to shut the door here in the third. 2-2. Brzegowski on the ground to short. It eats up the shortstop Smith, and 1 run will score. A high chopper from Brzegowski allows Vivrette to score, and it's 8-2 LMU. As they'll give a hit to Brzegowski. First pitch from Spradlin just misses inside, and it's 1-0 to Cassidy Hack. .0 from Spradlin. Hack line drive into left field. Saunders, the left fielder, moves over into the gap and makes the play for out number 3, but LMU gets 2. They cut into the deficit, and it's an 8-2 Carson-Newman lead heading into the 4th inning. Back with more from Harrogate on the LMU Sports Network and Eagle Sports Network.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long-distance love. For the far-sighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz drive.
Top of the 4th inning from the Dorothy Neely Softball Complex. It is an 8-2 lead for Carson-Newman over Lincoln Memorial here in game number 2 of this Saturday afternoon doubleheader. First South Atlantic Conference road trip for Carson-Newman. They dropped game 1, 2-1 in extra innings, and they came out with a vengeance with an 8-run second inning as Macaulay Bailey leads off against Brooke Strickland and takes the first pitch ball. Right-handed hitting first baseman. Closing in on a sack record as the 1-0 fouled straight back, and it's 1-1. 229 career RBIs. She is the active leader in Division II, but was unable to find an RBI in game 1. Thought she had it in extra innings, but Malia Smith was tagged out at the plate. Here's the 1-1. And it catches the outside corner against Bailey. 2 strikes to 1 ball. I can't speak sometimes. 1 ball, 2 strikes with nobody out to the leadoff hitter and Bailey. She clips the 1-2 straight back. Gave you the rundown in men's basketball in the Southeast region. If you're in Harrogate or in the area, you're looking for something to do, you can head to Tex Turner Arena. There's 2 thrilling contests of 4 SAC teams trying to head to the Sweet 16 as the 1-2 is a called strike 3 on the outside corner against Macaulay Bailey, and she's down looking. 3 straight strikeouts for Brooke Strickland, back-to-back by the looking variety if you go back into the 3rd inning. She puts 1 away, and now she'll face Grace Gregory, who is the fire starter for Carson-Newman in the 2nd inning. Takes the first pitch ball high and outside. Had a leadoff home run to get the 2nd inning going, and then picked up an RBI walk her 2nd time up. 1-0 There's a strike on the outer half, and it's 1-1. 1-1. Gregory foul tips it into the mitt of Reagan, and it's 1-2. 1-2. Another foul tip by Gregory, squeezed by Reagan. That is 4 straight strikeouts for Brooke Strickland, and puts 2 away now in the 4th, and here comes Anne-Marie Richards. But as I was saying, 2 really good contests in women's basketball. First one coming up at 5 p.m. between Coker and Lenore Ryan as Richards goes the other way into right field, and that will end the top of the 4th. Guess they just don't want me to talk about what's going on at Tex Turner Arena tonight. We'll figure that all out in the bottom of the 4th inning when we come back on Lincoln Memorial Sports Network and Eagle Sports Network.
Welcome back to Papa John's. I'm hand stuffing this mozzarella to make our epic stuffed crust pizza.
Epic.
Epic. Hey, we're making you an epic stuffed crust pizza for $13.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Papa John's went all in creating a new Papa Dipper. Our first pizza designed for dipping. It comes with the garlic sauce flight, 3 new flavors plus the original. This is dipping done better. The new Papa Dipper. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Lorelei Spradlin settles back into the circle, coming into her first full inning of work here in the bottom of the 4th. And before action gets going, I'm going to give you my piece on what happens at Tex Turner Arena tonight. 5 p.m., Lenore Ryan and Coker in women's basketball. On the top seed of the Southeast region, Lincoln Memorial takes on the 5 seed, Carson-Newman. And that gets you everything you need to know about Southeast region tournament basketball, with women's basketball started yesterday. Men's tournament also started yesterday, but the Southeast region didn't kick off till today. So Spradlin will face 7, 8, and 9 in this LMU order here in the bottom of the 4th, and it begins with Nicole Covertier. First pitch from Spradlin is a bunt attempt from Covertier that bounces in front of home plate and spins backwards foul. Count goes to 0-1. Covertier is 0 for 1, lined out to second her first time up. The 0-1, Covertier drives it into center field. Martin takes a couple of steps in and is there to put one away. So after the second inning came to a close, we can officially close the book on Lacey Keck. Went 2 2/3 as the first pitch is high and outside to Alyssa Maples from Spradlin. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Went 2 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Spradlin's 1-0, finds the zone, and it's 1-1 against Alyssa Maples. So for 1 with the strikeout looking. 1-1. Maples lifts a towering fly ball into shallow center. Martin ranges in, and there's the second out. Back-to-back flyouts to Abby Martin. Puts 2 quick outs on the board here in the bottom of the 4th, and Gracie Palmer, the 9 hitter, comes up. She's 1 for 1. Kick-started that 2-run 3rd inning with a base hit to right center. And she takes the first pitch strike from Spradlin, and it's 0-1. The 0-1, Palmer, slow roller towards the left side. Smith picks it up on the backhand at short, snaps it to first, and it's a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 4th inning for Lorelei Spradlin sends us into the 5th. It is a 6-run lead for Carson-Newman, an 8-2 advantage overall. 5th inning coming up on the other side of this break on the Carson-Newman Sports Network and the LMU Sports Network.
gente, it's Friday night y estamos activos. Head out early. Drinks flowing till 11 p.m. It's gonna be lit.
No sé qué pasó. I didn't even drink that much.
Six, 7, and 8 in the Carson-Newman order. Sarah Walker, Katie Mathena, and Addie Saunders against Brooke Strickland, who has been working efficiently in the circle for LMU. Has gone 2 2/3, giving up just 2 hits and 4 strikeouts, all of them coming in consecutive fashion. As first pitch to Addie Saunders, misses inside, or excuse me, to Sarah Walker, misses inside, and it's 1-0. Saunders will come up in this inning. And Strickland given some much-needed juice on the defensive side for LMU as the 1-0 is popped up down the first base side by Walker. 3 LMU defenders run over, and Maples, Viverette, and Hack, but none of them can get to it. Count goes to 1-1. Ashlyn Lupton got the start, went 1 1/3 innings, gave up 4 hits and 4 runs, all those earned. 1-1, breaking ball is low from Strickland, 2 balls and a strike. With a walk and no strikeouts. Meanwhile, Fultz, who came in relief, gave 3 shutout innings in game 1, didn't get an out here in game 2, the 2-1. This is low to Walker, 3 balls and a strike. Fultz rather, 4 runs, all those earned on 3 hits with 2 walks and no Ks. So here comes 3-1 to Walker, who goes the other way, and it's snagged out of the air by the first baseman Maples for out number 1. Brings up Katie Mathena. As Carson-Newman here in the 5th inning, if they're able to score 2 and hold LMU scoreless, they would pick up a run rule victory. But it's been a tough task against Strickland. Goes to the off-speed on the first pitch offering from Mathena. Catches the top part of the zone. It's 0-1. The 0-1. This is Lung. 1 ball and 1 strike. Reagan tries to frame it. Doesn't get the call. The 1-1. Mathena drives it down the right field line, foul. And the count goes to 1-2. The 1-2. Mathena hits it into the netting behind home plate, and the count stays where it is. Here comes the 1-2. Mathena, slow roller to third, and it sneaks under the glove of the third baseman, McMean. Mathena will reach on the error. And it brings up Addie Saunders, who hammers it down the left field line, but slices foul, and the count goes to 0-1. Saunders is 2 for 2, a pair of base hits, has an RBI back in the 2nd inning, also scored in that frame. The 8-run 2nd inning that has been the difference for Carson-Newman. They've only scored across all the innings today in just 2 innings. Had 1 in the 1st inning of game 1 as the 0-1, a cut and a miss from Saunders. Count goes to 0-2. And then 8 here in the 2nd. There has not been consistent offense among these two sides. The 0-2, Saunders swats it foul, left field line. Game 1, LMU got 1 in the 7th and then 1 in the 9th for the 2-1 win. They got 2 here in the 3rd, but other than that, it's been a bunch of goose eggs for these two sides as the 0-2 to Saunders misses low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 gone. Katie Mathena over at first, following the error by McNean. 1-2 misses low and away once more. Saunders squares the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Righty on lefty matchup, and Strickland comes home. Saunders ground ball up the middle, bobbled by a moment by Palmer, and then she can't secure it as she was trying to slide and pick it up at second. So back-to-back miscues from this LMU infield has put 2 on for Shelby Armstrong, who has come up in place of Reese Winchester, was a defensive sub. Righty on righty matchup against Armstrong. First pitch from Strickland is off the mark, low. Saunders will pick up a base hit, so she's 3 for 3. One 1-0 finds the zone against Armstrong, and the count goes to 1-1. Armstrong, the shortest player on the Carson-Newman team at 5'1", but she has some power, has a backside home run this season. 1-1 finds the inner half. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Strickland works ahead. Here's the 1-2 to Armstrong. Hangs upstairs. Count squares up, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 gone. Armstrong goes the other way on a sinking line drive down the right field line. Rounding third, here comes Mathena. She will score. Armstrong's in a rundown over at first as Saunders now is going to take off from third. The throw to the plate is not in time. Little cat and mouse game for Carson-Newman on the base paths. Armstrong was just trying to hold the second baseman, Vivrette, for just a touch longer, and then Saunders saw her opening, darted for home, and the throw was late coming to the plate. Makes it 10-2 Carson-Newman here in the top of the 5th inning as Malia Smith comes up, and the first pitch is off the mark outside. A back throw from the catcher in Reagan to Maples at first. He is Armstrong. Armstrong dive back in with a head first tag, or head first slide ahead of the tag. The 1-0 misses low and away. Smith cuts through it. And the count goes to 2-1. Smith pops the 2-1 down the left field line. Griffin races over, and she's called out. Michael Graves, the head coach on third base side for Carson-Newman, is in disbelief. We don't have the vantage point from the press box to see if Griffin caught it. Smith is called out. Smith can't believe it. Everyone says that Kristen Griffin's dropped it. Not sure if we have an angle to determine that one. As it looks like there will be a warning assessed to head coach Michael Graves, who hasn't been too pleased with the umpiring crew today. Didn't agree with the obstruction call that ended game 1, and certainly doesn't agree with the play there for out number 2, but credit to Kristen Griffin as Martin smokes this into left center field on the first pitch she sees. It splits the gap in left center. Armstrong blows a tire as she comes around third and has to retreat back. Otherwise, likely would have been another RBI for Abby Martin, would have been her third of the day, but she ropes a double to put 2 on with 2 away, and here comes Macaulay Bailey. So Martin at second, Armstrong at third. Macaulay Bailey comes up, trying to extend this Carson-Newman lead. Takes the first pitch she sees in the dirt for ball 1. The 1-0. Bailey goes the other way, down the right field line, but it slices foul. And it goes to 1-1. Bailey without a hit here in game 2, but has worked a walk. So her on-base streak has extended this season, the 1-1. Misses low. Bailey has now reached base in 47 consecutive games. And her hitting streak has extended to 14 after a hit in game 1. 2-1, clubbed foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. Chance to extend the lead, to extend that hitting streak, and tack on a couple more RBIs to her career total. 2-2. Bailey pops it up. Foul ground third base side. And it hits on top of the dugout on the third base side that LMU resides in. So the at-bat continues. Here's the 2-2 offering. Bailey fights it off with another foul ball. Bailey goes the other way to right center field. Long run for the center fielder, Covertier. She can't get there. Armstrong scores. Martin on her heels. A 2-run double for Macaulay Bailey extends the lead. It is 12-2. The hitting streak continues, and Macaulay Bailey inching ever closer to the SAC all-time record in RBI. She's now up to 231 in her career. That's a 10-run advantage for Carson-Newman. Grace Gregory takes the first pitch strike from Strickland, who had been lights out for LMU, but the Carson-Newman bats have gotten to her here in the 5th. The 0-1 just tipped off the end of the bat by Gregory, foul, and it's 0-2 quickly. Gregory was the party starter with a solo home run in the 2nd. Pops up the 0-2, shallow right field. Going back is the second baseman, Vivrette, and that will close the book on a 4-run top of the 5th for Carson-Newman. A 2-run single from Shelby Armstrong, and then a 2-run double from Macaulay Bailey. It is a 12-2 lead for Carson-Newman. They're looking for 3 more outs to pick up the win in Game 2 when we come back on the other side of this break on the Eagle Sports Network and LMU Sports Network.
We are taught you don't talk about your problems with nobody because you could get in trouble. And I've been through a lot. Anxiety, depression, sexual assault. When I decided to get help, my life changed. In the mental health box, that was one of the big tools. Accepting help means that we are allowing somebody to bless our life. It's freeing. We got stronger together. Love your mind.
4 runs in the top of the 5th inning for number 19 Carson-Newman, trying to get a split here against LMU. Lorelei Spradlin will look to shut things down. She'll face the top of this LMU order. Reese Vivrette, Kristen Griffin, and Hannah McMean due up with the Rail Splitters chasing 10, and they need at least 3 to keep the game going if they're to have any chance at it. First pitch swinging for Vivrette, chops it to third. Gregory snares it and snaps it to first for out number 1. 1 pitch and 1 out for Lorelei Spradlin and the Carson-Newman defense. Brings up Kristen Griffin, who had a RBI double. Her last time up. First pitch to Griffin. Misses inside. And the count goes to 1-0. Spradlin finds the zone this time and levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Spradlin has been comfortable getting ahead in counts, letting her defense make plays behind her. The 1-2. Griffin lifts a towering fly ball to right field. Mathena ranges towards the right field line and makes the grab for out number 2. Spradlin has retired the last 6 LMU hitters and looks to retire a 7th consecutive against McMean, who is 0 for 2 in Game 2. Close a book on this second game. And a bounce-back Game 2 for the Eagles. First pitch is a strike to McMean, and it is 0-1. LMU got the win, 2-1 in extra innings, final in 9 in Game 1. Gracie Palmer with the sac fly. Here comes the 0-1. High and outside from Spradlin, 1-1. The Eagles came out angry, and they came out in a big way. 8 runs in the second, started by a Grace Gregory solo home run, her 3rd of the season. They tacked on 4 more here in the 5th. 2-run single from Shelby Armstrong and a 2-run double from Macaulay Bailey. It's the 1-1 misses outside from Spradlin to the right-handed hitting McMean, and it's 2-1. LMU got 2 in the 3rd. Here comes the 2-1 to McMean. Misses inside, 3 balls and a strike. And Spradlin looks for 1 more out for Carson-Newman. Wind blowing straight in from center field. 3-1 to McMean. Hammers it. Deep drive, center field, Martin back onto the track, and she'll make the play. If the wind was calm, Griffin has another home run, but instead it is out number 3, and that is the end of game number 2. Carson-Newman bounces back from the extra innings loss and run rules Lincoln Memorial 12-2 in game number 2. Eagles got ahead early. An 8-run second and then a 4-run 5th was enough to take care of the Rail Splitters in Game 2. Looking ahead for both of these sides. For Carson-Newman, they will be at home on Wednesday when they will take on Wingate. That one set for a 1 p.m. start in Jefferson City. As for the Rail Splitters, they are at home once again. That on Wednesday as well. 12 p.m. doubleheader against Coker on tap against the Cobras. Coming at you here on Lincoln Memorial Sports Network. That one slated for a 12 p.m. start. If you're a Carson-Newman fan, you can find me on the Wingate game. If you're an LMU fan, well, someone else will have this one for you. I was happy to fill in double duties today with a jam-packed day today in Harrogate. Well, that does it for today's doubleheader. LMU took game 1 2-1. Carson-Newman bounces back 12-2. For the entire crew helped me throughout the day, I'm Matt Scalzo thanking them and saying so long from those of you at home. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night.